All right. Well, let's talk about racial reconciliation because you have that on your website. That's something that's near and dear to your heart. Describe that process of how you got involved in that, and what is that neighborhood renewal that you've been talking about and
Okay.
you've laid out on your website?
Well, I grew first place. I grew up in the '60s and '70s in Nashville. Um, I can remember barely white only drinking fountains downtown Nashville. I can remember going to the movies. My grandfather, who was a pastor, was a fought for reconciliation. He integrated his church in the 1930s.
Mm.
So I kind of come from a line of reconcilers. My mother, who was his daughter, just raised me. She hammered that. My father, on the other hand, was a person who struggled with prejudice. So I grew up in this
Mm.
weird world. So then I met Bill, and again, I was prepped to enter that world with him. He was giving leadership to a black church in Cecilia Memorial Presbyterian Church in Bowling Green, Kentucky, a church that had been built by slaves after the Civil War. Bill was given leadership there, 25 elderly members. And then once Bill started, all of his grad students started coming. So I was there for 6 years. And a lot of the people who, besides Bill, who encouraged me in terms of songwriting and it had input on my songs were elderly members from that community.
Mm.
So, and then lo and behold, my best friend is a guy named Scott Rowley. And Scott is a person who started the Franklin Table and works for reconciliation and neighborhood renewal. He's the guy that got me into neighborhood renewal. Basically, I have just sort of held people's coattails. I sort of followed Bill and what he was doing, and then I followed Scott and what he was doing, and always kind of tried to make myself available. And for me, and I got this from Denny, because, I'd ask Denny, okay, you tell me what to do. And Denny would say, open the door of your life to someone who's not like you.
Mm.
How about that? Right? It's not complicated.
Mm-mm.
And so, and basically, I try to build relationships. And I've always experienced more grace coming towards me than from me. And I have, several friends that would do anything for me. And
Mm.
so that's what it looks like.